Algebra 2. Heads up, I posted a poll yesterday, I believe, just asking for some feedback. I want to see how well you guys did last week and just get some of your opinions. So if you haven't taken the poll yet, go ahead and leave a response on there. Just trying to make this a good learning experience for you based on what we have. Anyways, I'm on page 600. I'm going to look at example 1, but before we do that, I want to point out these two equations up here. They are equations of a parabola, quadratics. And I know that because the degree, which is the highest exponent, the degree is 2 in both of them. You can see how both of them are squared. So they're just written in different forms. And I want to remind you that this is called the standard form of a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. And then this would be the vertex form, okay? Vertex form. And the reason I'm pointing this out, because if you go back one page to 599, our book, our crazy book, for some reason that they called standard form general form in the book, and this is even worse, they call vertex form standard form, which is a nightmare. I don't know why they are differing from the rest of the math world, but on the left is the standard form, and on the right is the vertex form. So what we're going to do today on example 1 is we're going to work on transferring or rewriting something from standard form into the vertex form, all right, from here to there. Now on example 1, it says like identify vertex, axis symmetry, all these other things. I'm not interested in that, okay, because I want to work on just one skill, which is moving them from part to part. And it's a little fuzzy there. Hopefully it's not like that all the time. Moving it from here to there, and we're going to do that by a method called complete the square. So if you don't remember that from Algebra 1, that's okay, because I'm going to show you right now. So example 1, the first equation they give us is y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 6, where a is 2, b is negative 12, and c is 6. And we're going to turn it into vertex form. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to look at just the first two terms, just the first two, which is these two. And let's look for a greatest common factor of the coefficients, not of the variables, just of a coefficient, something we can factor. So I want to take out a 2. I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 6x. And now I'm going to write a blank here, and I'll explain that in a second. I'm going to bring this 6 way back here, okay? So the method of completing the square, we're going to take this binomial, or I guess it's now this, and we're going to make it into a trinomial. So I'm going to put another value in here. That's what completing the square is. All right, so the way we do that is we take our b value, which is negative 6. Okay, so we take negative 6 and we divide by 2, which is negative 3. And once we get half of b, then we square it. So negative b squared is 9. So I'm going to put a plus 9 in here, okay? And now I have completed the square. That's what this is called. All right, so now we have a trinomial again. Now, guys, this is an equation, right? Because it equals y. And if you notice, I just added a 9 in an equation, which is not really legal at the moment. And it's really not 9. It's 2 times 9. I've added an 18 in there. Okay, so if I'm going to add 2 times 9, I had sure as heck better subtract a 2 times 9 at the end. Otherwise, the equation just changes, right? And the parabola changes. It's not the same. So if I'm going to add 2 times 9, I have to subtract 2 times 9 at the end. All right, and we'll get there in a second. So this trinomial, the reason it's called complete the square is because this trinomial is a perfect square. All right, and if you factor that, you'll see what I mean. Minus plus is minus, minus plus is minus minus, x and x, and the factors of 9 to add to 6 are 3 and 3. If you notice, when we factor, we get the same binomial. And what I'm going to do, and the reason this is helpful, is I'm going to then rewrite x minus 3 times x minus 3 as x minus 3 squared. Right? This times this is this. So I'm going to bring my 2 down here because I got a 2 out front. And then over here, let's go ahead and combine like terms now. So we know that this is 18, so I have a 6 minus 18, which is a minus 12. And then, of course, it is equal to y, right? So this is our answer. And if you notice, it is now in the vertex form, where k is negative 12. Just a heads up, see how this is a minus in the formula? So we have a minus here, so h is actually positive 3, because this negative just goes with the formula. So k is negative 12, h is positive 3, and then a is 2. And we'll talk tomorrow about what those things mean. But today I want to focus on just moving it into vertex form. So I want to look at guided practice 1, which is down there at the bottom, just below where we were at on page 600. This is y equals 4x squared plus 16x plus 34. Again, we're going to turn this standard form into vertex form. And we'll start by looking at the first two terms, and let's look for a greatest common factor. Well, I think it's 4, right? We can take out a 4, which leaves us with x squared plus 4x. And again, I'm going to write my blank there, guys, right? I'm going to write my blank, put my 34 back there, because the blank is what we're going to complete, right? That's the square we're going to complete. So, remember, the number that goes in the blank, we start with b, which is 4. Half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared, right? We have to square the half, is 4. So we're going to say plus 4 back there. Now remember, if we say 4 times 4, if we add 4 times 4 in here, we must minus a 4 times 4, right? It's only fair because it's an equation. It must balance. So we've got 4 times 4 in there. We better say minus 4 times 4. This trinomial is perfect. They always will be. That's the point of completing the square. We're making them perfect. So this factors to x plus 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4, but 2 plus 2 is 4. And since they're the same, we're going to rewrite it as x plus 2 squared. Okay. If you get something that's not the same, then you have completed the square wrong. These should be the same binomial. I have my 4 out there, so that's going to come down here. And then let's combine our like terms. This is 34 minus 16. 34 minus 16 is plus 18. So there is our answer, you guys. I've got y equals 4 times the quantity squared, right? We're going to square the quantity of x plus 2, and we'll add 18 at the end. All right, so I'm going to bring my other sheet back here. Let's take a look. Remember, k is 18 here. But see how this is a plus now? This is an addition sign. It's changed from our formula. So the only way we could get a minus sign to change is if h is negative. So h is actually negative 2 here. All right, so k is positive 18, h is negative 2, and the a is still 4. Okay? I'm going to have you try a couple of problems. I want you to go to page 603, please. And I want you to try number 1 and 2. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Thanks. Good luck.